You can tell when something's changed. It's not in her words, it's in the silence between them. When a woman's been with another man, truly been touched, seen, or emotionally moved, she starts to carry a different kind of energy. You can feel it even if she swears nothing happened. And the cruel part is, she might not even realize she's giving it away. See, most men look for the obvious signs, messages, calls, lies. But what gives her away isn't digital. It's human. It's primal. It's the small fractures in how she looks at you, how she breathes when she's near you, how she stops reaching for the part of you she used to need. When a woman bonds deeply with someone, emotionally or physically, her psychology shifts. A woman's mind attaches through emotional validation, her body through safety and attention. When those needs are met elsewhere, even temporarily, her subconscious begins to rewrite how she feels about you. That's not something she can fake for long. You'll sense a quiet withdrawal, not out of guilt, but out of emotional redirection. She'll smile at your jokes, but the warmth is gone. She'll hug you, but it feels like muscle memory. She'll talk to you, but her eyes won't stay still. It's not an act of cruelty. It's biology in motion. Her brain releases less dopamine when she's around you because someone else has triggered it recently. Her oxytocin, that bonding chemical, now fires when she thinks of him. You're feeling the residue of something she no longer controls. And you know what's tragic? Most men gaslight themselves out of seeing it. They tell themselves they're overthinking, being insecure, being paranoid. But your intuition is not paranoia. It's pattern recognition, the oldest survival instinct known to man. You feel energy before you see proof. You sense loss before it's confessed. It's not about revenge or blame. It's about awareness. Because pretending not to know doesn't make it untrue. There's a shift that no woman can fully hide, no matter how careful she becomes. It's not about her words, her phone, or her schedule. It's about her presence. When she's been emotionally or physically intertwined with another man, her rhythm changes. The smallest details, the ones you used to overlook, start screaming at you in silence. She'll be there, but she won't be there. She'll listen, but not absorb. Her laughter will sound rehearsed. Her body will stand closer, but her spirit will stand back. You'll start to notice her affection becoming transactional, not flowing from warmth but from guilt. She's trying to make you feel safe so you stop looking too closely. That's how a woman covers emotional displacement, with temporary affection, not connection. And here's what psychology says. When a woman bonds with someone else, her nervous system remembers it. Her heartbeat adapts to a new pattern of safety. Her stress hormones fluctuate differently. Even her tone shifts subtly because her subconscious now calibrates to another man's emotional frequency. It's not betrayal in its most dramatic form. It's a quiet rewiring. You'll ask, "Are you okay?" She'll smile and say, "Of course." But it's that smile that'll haunt you because it's polite, not passionate. That's the smile of someone who's halfway out the door but too afraid to admit it, even to herself. She'll stop arguing, not because she's suddenly at peace, but because she doesn't care enough to fight anymore. When a woman stops defending her emotions, it means her emotional home has moved somewhere else. You can't fix that by being nicer or trying harder. You can't rebuild connection with someone who's quietly rehearsing life without you. The real truth is, women don't just leave physically, they drift first. And if you're observant, you'll feel the distance before the departure. That's when most men panic, chase harder, beg for clarity. But the more you chase, the more she retreats, because her mind already belongs to a new narrative, one where you're no longer the main character. You can't force her to unfeel what she's felt, but you can stop lying to yourself about what's slipping away. Awareness doesn't break you, it wakes you. Would you like me to move into section 3, where W? There are 5 lies her body and mind cannot hold forever, no matter how much she tries to stay composed. These are the signs she can't fake after being with another man. They're subtle, almost invisible, but once you see them, you can never unsee them. The first is her emotional stillness. Before, she reacted, laughed harder, got jealous, cared about what you thought. Now, she's calmer. But it's the wrong kind of calm. It's not peace, it's detachment. She's conserving emotion because she's already spent it elsewhere. You'll feel it when you share something personal and she gives you a soft nod instead of curiosity. Her empathy has shifted direction. The second is her sudden independence. She'll tell you she needs space, time, or clarity. It sounds healthy, and sometimes it is, but when it comes abruptly, without growth behind it, it's often emotional substitution. She's found validation from another source, and now she needs distance to justify her change in feelings. She'll say she's focusing on herself, but self-focus isn't cold, this is. The third is the softness in her tone disappearing. When a woman is emotionally bonded to you, her voice naturally lowers. It warms, softens, adapts. But after that, bond shifts. Her tone gets lighter, quicker, detached. It's not rude, it's neutral. And neutrality is death in connection. You'll notice it most when she says your name. It used to sound like affection. Now it sounds like punctuation. The fourth is her avoidance of depth. She'll keep conversations light, avoid eye contact in intimate moments, and redirect serious talks. Because when you look into her eyes, she knows you'll see what she's hiding. Not necessarily another man's face, but another man's presence lingering in her emotions. Avoidance is her last shield against guilt. And the fifth, her body language stops syncing with yours. It's the micro-expressions, the delayed responses, the hugs that feel staged. Her body used to mirror yours unconsciously because connection creates alignment. Now her timing is off. Her touch doesn't anchor you. It brushes past you. She doesn't lean in anymore because her subconscious has learned to lean towards someone else. You can't fake chemistry once it's been rerouted. You can act, you can pretend, but energy doesn't lie. And if you're paying attention, you'll know, even before she does. When a man finally senses the shift, it hits him in places he didn't know existed. It's not just heartbreak, it's disorientation. Because for men, attachment often builds slower but runs deeper. You invested trust, time, and purpose into her. And suddenly, the ground beneath that foundation starts to move. She's still there, but it feels like she's fading right in front of you. That's when confusion becomes your new shadow. You'll wake up one day and realize you're questioning your every move, your words, your worth, your memory of what love felt like. You replay moments, looking for mistakes. You wonder if you were too distant, too busy, too soft, too strong. But that's the cruel illusion. Believing that you could have controlled her emotional shift. You couldn't. You can't rewrite biology or override choice. Psychology teaches us that when a man senses disconnection, his brain goes into repair mode. He tries harder, becomes more available, more giving. He believes effort can rebuild what energy has already released. But the paradox is this. The more you chase someone whose attention has drifted, the smaller you become in her eyes. Not because she hates you, but because your energy now feels like pressure, not partnership. That's the moment where most men break, when they realize love isn't always mutual anymore. But here's what few people tell you. That moment of realization is sacred. It's where your self-respect is either lost or reborn. You can't make her come back by proving your worth. You show your worth by choosing not to beg for what's already gone. Let her distance be the mirror that reflects what you've been ignoring. That your strength was never meant to depend on someone's consistency. It was meant to stand on your awareness, your calm, your power to feel the truth and not collapse under it. Because when you finally accept that love can shift without warning, you start to love differently. Not fearfully, but consciously. You stop trying to own someone's loyalty and start respecting your own peace. You may lose her, but you'll find something far rarer, yourself, unfiltered and awake. There's a quiet strength that comes when a man finally stops trying to decode her and starts decoding himself. That's the turning point. The moment you shift from chasing answers to building alignment. Because the truth is, no woman can truly respect a man who's lost in his own confusion. She might feel sympathy, maybe even guilt, but respect only grows where composure lives. And composure doesn't mean pretending you don't care. It means you've learned to care without collapsing. See, when she pulled away, your instinct told you to chase. Because your body was in emotional survival mode. You wanted to reclaim what felt like safety. But real safety doesn't come from control. It comes from knowing you'll still stand tall, even when someone walks away. That's the quiet, magnetic energy every grounded man carries. Women sense it instantly. The difference between a man who's afraid to lose her and a man who trusts himself enough to let her go. The first one is desperate. The second one is dangerous. Not because he's cold, but because he's centered. He doesn't punish, he doesn't plead, he simply observes. And in that calm, women either wake up to what they've lost or drift further toward where they belong. Either way, he remains whole. Psychology calls this emotional regulation. I call it sacred discipline. It's the art of sitting with the ache without needing to numb it. Because when you can do that, when you can breathe through heartbreak instead of reacting to it, you evolve. Your presence sharpens. Your words slow down. You start moving like a man who doesn't need validation, only clarity. And the irony? That's when people start being drawn to you again. Not because you've become colder, but because you've become still. Stillness is rare now. It's magnetic. It signals that your happiness is not negotiable. So don't resent the distance she created. Thank it. It revealed where your boundaries were too soft, where your self-worth depended on attention. You're not losing a woman. You're losing your illusions. And what comes after that is pure power. Quiet, masculine, unshakable power. There comes a day when you stop needing closure from her because you've already given it to yourself. You stop replaying the messages, stop reading meaning into her silence, stop waiting for her to remember what you once were. You realize that what you were chasing wasn't her. It was the version of you that existed when you still believed she was yours. That's the hardest part to face. Not that she changed, but that you did too. Pain matures a man. It burns away the noise and forces him to see himself clearly. You start noticing things you once ignored. Your boundaries, your value, your peace. You no longer want to convince someone to choose you. You want to understand why you ever needed to be chosen at all. That's where freedom begins. Because once you detach your self-worth from her approval, you become untouchable. Her choices, her confusion, her absence, they no longer define your mood. You reclaim your time, your focus, your purpose. And from that place, something powerful happens. You stop attracting chaos and start drawing honesty. Women feel that shift. They sense when a man is no longer powered by fear, but by calm awareness. That's when respect returns. Not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. You've stepped into a space where love is not performance, it's preference. You don't need to be needed, you choose to be valued. So if you're watching this right now with that heavy feeling in your chest, I want you to remember this. What left your life wasn't punishment. It was preparation. The universe will remove who you think you need, just to reveal who you truly are. You've seen the signs, you've felt the shift, but now it's time to let it shape you into the man you were meant to become. A man who listens to his instincts, not his insecurities, who doesn't chase attention, he commands presence. Now I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt that quiet distance from a woman before you knew the truth? What did your gut tell you first? Drop your answer in the comments. I read them all. And if this spoke to something deep inside you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with a man who needs to hear it tonight, because awareness is how healing begins.